It was Mitt Romney who secured the endorsement of the state's governor, Luis Fortuño. The governor joins us now live from San Juan, Puerto Rico on a very busy day. Governor, thank you so much for your time. I understand you've been out to vote. What are you seeing at the polls today?
Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of excitement out there. I just came back, as you mentioned, from voting. We're already hearing stories from some of the polling places that we have run out of affiliation forms because a lot of new voters are coming to the polls. We have been implementing pro-growth, conservative values in Puerto Rico for the last 3 years, and actually unemployment has come down from 17% to 15%. We have lowered taxes, we have shrunk the size of government, and we are streamlining our permitting process. Exactly the same values that Governor Romney has espoused in his campaign.
And you have said that you have great respect for all of those who are currently running for the GOP nomination. You had a friendship with Rick Santorum. He did a lot in the view of the Puerto Rican people when he was a senator, noting many times that Puerto Rico didn't have a voice in the U.S. Senate, and he thought that was important. But ultimately, what tipped you in favor of former Governor Romney?
Well, let me tell you, and as you were mentioning, indeed, he was extremely helpful when he was in the Senate, and we appreciate that. And all four candidates actually are fine men. They actually have served the country in different ways, and we're thankful for their service. Having said that, however, this election is about leadership. This election is about selecting the person that will provide not just that leadership, but will have the experience and will bring it to the White House to create jobs and to secure the border and to secure our nation. And I believe Governor Romney is the best qualified for that job.
And you've talked about the fact that when folks think about securing the border, most often the average American thinks about the southern border that we share with Mexico. But you say there are issues in the Caribbean as well.
Yes, indeed. And actually, as you were mentioning, most people in the mainland believe that when you talk about securing the border, you're just talking about Mexico, our border with Mexico in the southwest. Well, America's Caribbean border is Puerto Rico. And it must be secured. The federal government is not doing enough to secure the border. And actually, if I may, just imagine if you just closed your front door and left the back door open. It makes no sense. And this is a national security issue that has to be addressed shortly.
I want to ask you about Rick Santorum. We touched on briefly the fact that you do share a friendship. He did stir up some controversy in Puerto Rico this week, talking about the predominance of the English language. He feels that for an entity pursuing statehood, that would be an important thing to focus on. Do you think that his comments were in any way misconstrued, as some in his campaign now say? Do you think he was misunderstood, or do you think that's going to wind up hurting him at the polls?
Well, if I may clarify, and certainly I was not there when he provided that interview to a local newspaper. Having said that, however, for more than a century, both English and Spanish have been official languages of Puerto Rico. And as you know, that is a right that is reserved to states. That's a state's right. And we believe that strongly that it should remain that way. As a father of triplets, however, I must tell you that most parents here want our children to be fully bilingual, to speak perfect English because it's a language of opportunity. But at the same time, we are proud of our heritage and we want to preserve Spanish as well. And there's no contradiction at all. Actually, I believe it enriches our culture, and at the same time, it provides opportunities not just for jobs, but opportunities for free trade with the region, and we certainly want to pursue that. Finally, I must say that over 200,000 of our men and women have served in the armed forces since we became citizens. We're proud of their service. And no one asked them ever if they were fully bilingual or not. I want them to be fully bilingual, but we are proud of their service, and many of them actually made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation.
In November, you look ahead to a plebiscite or a vote there where the people of Puerto Rico will decide if they want to formally pursue the next steps in becoming a U.S. state. Are you confident that will move forward in the direction of statehood? And beyond that vote, what do you think the opportunities and chances are?
But it is going to be a process, but I am confident that indeed our voters will pursue that route. It just makes sense. We have been part of the United States since 1898, natural-born citizens since 1917. As I mentioned earlier, our men and women have served in greater numbers than most states since then. And I only believe that it's the right thing to do in the 21st century to allow almost 4 million American citizens to express our will and then to work with the White House and Congress and hopefully President Romney to address this issue.
Well, as you mentioned, the turnout today and the need for additional paperwork and ballots because so many people are showing up. It's a great example to all of America to have people who can't even vote in the general election be so motivated to get out and have their voices heard today. Governor, we know it's a busy day, so thanks for taking a break for us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Shannon. Good day.